Welcome, FNews57 here. Once again, I'm back on my Xbox One to bring you another guide. In today's video, I will be covering arguably the highest skill-rated, most annoying achievement on Lemnis Gate, a brand new game that just released, I believe, September 28th or 29th. It's available on the Xbox and the PC, and is included with Game Pass. With that being said, the achievement we will be going for is called Straight A Student. It is a rare achievement worth 35 gamer score and requires you to complete all operative rooms in the training facility. Now, I'm actually going to unlock the achievement, and then I'm going to explain every step of exactly where you need to go and show you the clips of the proper order to do things in order to unlock the achievement. I have to stress that you may want to play with your sensitivity settings in-game first, because this is a skill-based, very frustrating achievement. So as you can see, I'm at 83%, and currently the achievement has a 0.29% unlock rate. We have just finished the last operative course, and the shield has come down from around this little crystal structure collectible. So as soon as we pick that up, you will actually get the achievement, like so. We'll pick it up and then wait a couple seconds, and bam, there is our Straight A Student achievement, which if you want to take a look at it a little bit closer, you can always go to the official club, or if you're having difficulties with the achievement tracker displaying the correct tracked percentages, feel free to double check it in the official club. So that's our Straight A Student achievement art. They did use the same background and just changed the foreground on all of their achievements. But let's go ahead and take a look at it. So before I go anywhere, this room, I don't want it to reset. This is the operator room with the shotgun. I believe this is Vendetta, if I remember correctly. And there's a little bit of a trick you can use to make it easier. So this involves placing the pod auto turrets and then standing on a switch. The first time you do this room, you'll have to put a pod turret here, stand on this switch. That opens this door here, and then the turret kills this robot. Now, there seems to be a bit of a bug that if you reset the room by going to this console and holding Y, this door remains open and the enemy robot is respawned, but you can come into this second room. That frees up one turret slot. So if you have to do it that way, you can still do it the normal way. Just put one turret there, hold the switch, open the door, the turret kills this robot, and then you come into this room and you have 4 turrets left. There's jump pads. Now, turrets can be placed in the air, and what you have to do is you have to jump and hold the placement button to get a turret placed like I have right there. Then you stand on this pad, which opens the door and allows the turret to shoot in to the dead robot that is right there on the ground floor. Then you have to come over here and you have to go to this jump pad, and you want to jump on it a couple times so that you're positioned pretty much to the back of the jump pad, and then press and hold the deploy button so that you finish deploying as you jump forward and you hit this door right there. It's very tricky to do depending on your sensitivity, but eventually you'll get a turret placed pretty much like that one. Hold this button, that turret will shoot down at the robot that is behind the piece of cover up there. And then the last and hardest one, you will probably only have one turret, so you'll have to get it on your first try. You'll want to get a running start on this jump pad, and you'll want to end up finishing the placement. And the key word there is finishing the placement of the turret, so it is basically in the center of that doorway in terms of the vertical space of the door and the horizontal space of the door, basically right where I have that turret placed. Again, you do that by getting on the jump pad and starting to press and hold so that it finishes the deployment while you're still in the air. Once your turret is placed correctly, you can go to this pressure point pad right here, which opens the door up there, and the turret will fire down on the unsuspecting training robot located behind that piece of cover. Once all 3 of those robots in that room are dead and that robot is dead, the shield that is protecting the collectible that you seen we get earlier will come down, and as soon as you pick up the collectible, it tracks it as showing the completion on the achievement for completing a operator room. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to show these in order. So we are going to go back to the main menu. At this current point in time, I don't believe that you have to complete every single room in one sitting. However, some of the achievements with this game are very glitchy, so if you have the time, I would recommend completing it in one sitting. From the main menu of the game, go to Training. Under the Tutorial category, go all the way over to Training Facility. Select and start Training Facility, which there's technically 3 things that you can do on this map. There's collectibles that you have to get, which there's an achievement associated with that. There's the drone race, and then there's the whole collectibles sort of bonus thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop down here, and we're going to go back here to the DSO challenge. And from this DSO challenge, we are going to proceed straight. To our right is the one of the easier challenges, which is Carl. And this one is actually really easy once you kind of know what you need to do for it. I did record game clips of my successful completions, and I will share those for the more difficult ones. But this one is very simple. You have to navigate, avoid the auto turrets, and get to that platform over there on the far wall where I'm shooting. There will be a collectible crystal there. So the best way to do this is to start off by deploying a shield right there, falling down here, jumping up onto this platform. Remember that Carl can jump higher than any of the other characters. Keep in mind there's a second auto turret back there. You cannot destroy these auto turrets. Run and jump to the corner of this platform, and then time it so that you put a shield on that platform. Jump to this platform, timing it so that you're landing on the platform. You don't need to place a shield on that platform, but it doesn't hurt to go ahead and place a shield on that platform either. And then wait till you're about even and jump, land on the platform, thereby picking up the collectible crystal, and the Carl room is done. This is probably one of the easiest ones. You can then simply kill yourself to go ahead and get back to the main area here. The next easiest one to do is to actually skip up and to the left one segment, which is Rush. And for Rush, we're going to sprint and jump up here. Then we're going to sprint, jump, and use Rush's ability. But this one's tricky. So this one probably will take you a few tries to do. But you got to position yourself at a bit of an angle, and then just kind of, like I said, it's proving more difficult. This one took me a few tries, but wait for your kinetic booster ability, and then you can either run and sprint, or you can get to the edge, jump, and make sure you're high enough that when you use your kinetic booster, you actually go ahead and make it across there. It's easier if you're doing it with the run and sprint method. You want to fall off right here, make sure your kinetic booster's ready, run, sprint at the height of it. You want to go ahead and use your kinetic booster so that you kind of skirt the top of that auto turret and land on this platform here. The next part's the hard part, because we have to get on this and jump around that column. And then we want to run, and I just messed it up there, but you want to run, sprint. Basically, I'm not going to show it. So you've seen the part, you hit that jump pad, go around the column, land there, back up, run, jump. While you're sprinting, jump. So you end up about there. activate your kinetic booster and fly across to right there. That opening between the energy shield and the wall, which you'll fall down, run forward. Once your kinetic booster is ready, hit that jump pad, which propels you up in the air to about that height, roughly, and hit your kinetic booster so you fly this way, thereby picking up the collectible, and you will land down here, which to finish, you simply just run forward and up like that. Super freaking easy to do. So that covers the 2 easy ones. The next ones are going to be exceedingly difficult, and they're honestly only going to get worse. By the way, at the very end of this hall is the last one that I showed you, which is Vendetta. So as you can see, here's the Vendetta room, and the door is shut. But if we exit this room, so we place the pod there, open the door, let the pod turret kill the robot, and then if we were to go into the next section, alright, that one really annoyed us, we're going to go do a different one. Okay, that one annoyed us, so we're going to come back to this one, and if you look, the room, the door is still closed, so you get your equipment charges back. It's a little bit of a cheat or bug, or I don't know what you want to call it, but yeah, you can use that to your advantage for Vendetta. Alright, moving on, we are going to go to the Toxin room. So from the entrance, we did Carl first, and you can do these in any order. This is just the order of ease I found them. We did Rush's room, now we're going to turn to the right, and we are going to do Toxin's room. Toxin is exceedingly annoying, so I'm actually going to share the game clip of how I did it. And we're going to go up here. You have to use your ability, your teleport ability to get up here. And basically all the way across the map behind that far energy shield is the collectible that we need to pick up in order to complete Toxin. And we have to avoid that auto turret and that auto turret. And it is exceedingly difficult. So I barely got it after quite a few tries. That's why I'm just going to share the game clip with you.
So long, sucker! Alright, where do I point this thing? Watch out! Gone! Swing! Magic! Let's go! Watch out! Toxin. Walk in the park! Going, going! Watch out! Hi, boys! See ya, losers! Swing magic! Here I go!
Alright, so no doubtedly you've seen that I've definitely died a couple times. And we're just trying to get that one little spot where our ability icon turns green so that we can teleport up here and pick up that wonderful collectible crystal. At which point, if you want, you can simply just reset the map, or you can go ahead and kill yourself to respawn at the very beginning. It is completely up to you in what you wish to do once you have that collectible. Technically, as far as the achievement is concerned, you've completed the requirement that you need to do. Now, I did die many times while doing that, as you've seen. So I am not going to do the entire thing, but for anyone that was a little bit unfamiliar or didn't catch it, we come out here on this ledge, drop down, hold the ability use button, aim to that slanted ramp, and then run and jump, aim to the inside of that platform with our ability, and then once we're up here we want to aim up with our ability. Some people have said that they could get it like that, like literally right kind of that way, but I couldn't do it, so I hopped back, and hopping back while for some reason holding your ability, you get stuck on this ledge, which you can't jump to that ledge. Like, if you actually turn around and jump to the ledge, you don't get stuck on the ledge. So I don't know if that's a bug or intended, but then aim up there to where the icon is green and make sure you're pushing forward so that if your character hits the edge, they're pushed up here into the safety of this box. Grab the collectible, and that is Toxin's mission completed. Then you can just do what I did, jump off there. All right, the next one, this one's actually fairly easy, but it's fairly frustrating at the same time, and that is going to be backtracking to Deathblow, which we're going to come in here. And the secret with Deathblow is actually using his landmines. So what has to be done is all of these little moving and stationary discs need to be destroyed all at the same time before they respawn. You only get 4 rounds in your rocket launcher, but you do get 5 of your landmines. And there's also 3 landmines placed already. Now, with that being said, if you'll watch, I can shoot the red landmines, and shooting the red landmines for whatever logical reason does not detonate the landmines. But tossing your landmine and then shooting your own landmine with a rocket will actually detonate them. So once again, I have a game clip of the timing for you that I'm going to share with you just to make it a little easier. So as you can see in this clip, we're going into Deathblow, the collectibles there, and the shield on the right. And what I want to do is I want to throw down my mines so that the landmines basically chain explode in the largest possible blast radius, including placing one roughly in the middle on the back wall there. And you want to kind of just place your landmines so that they cover the majority of the spots where those targets move around. If you're lucky or unlucky, you might actually hit one of the targets with your landmine, which could be good or it could be bad. I was kind of trying to do that here, but I ended up missing the timing by just a second. And then you're going to want to get ready to shoot the stragglers with your rocket launcher. So the plate in the front was the plate that I was going for, but of course, as you've seen, I missed the first rocket. Then I hit my landmines and blew up all of the rockets in the area, or blew up all the targets in the area with that. Got the collectible, and that is mission complete for Deathblow. So Deathblow is arguably one of the easiest ones to do once you know what the actual pattern is. And it might take you maybe 2 or 3 tries just to get the timing and placement of the landmines down. You can, of course, always reset this room. So let's say that I go ahead and I've tried it once. I used up all my landmines. I didn't get it. I can reset the room, and once again, I have all of my landmines back. Now, for the hardest, and this is the absolute hardest room, despite all my game time, Striker is a nightmare. So this is the Striker room. The collectible will be inside of this shroud right there, and I do have a game clip pulling it off, but the problem is the amount of time that you have. So you have to shoot all of these targets. There's 2 targets, one at the top, one at the bottom, moving in opposite directions at all times. So in a left to right and right to left orientation. Then there's 2 targets, one on each side, moving in a up or top to bottom, bottom to top orientation, opposite at all times. And there's 1 target farthest away from you that is moving from left to right, right to left along a diagonal, and it's moving at the fastest speed. With that being said, there is no other gun that you can use. You have to use the sniper rifle, which has fairly bad recoil, only holds 2 rounds. So if we're looking, say like I aim at that target and I fire, my sights jump up quite a bit. Now, it might be easier to do with mouse and keyboard. I don't know. I am playing on the Xbox One, as I mentioned, but there is only enough time to go ahead and fire and reload 3 times. before the first target respawns. And I'll demonstrate that by shooting this target at the bottom, which it's kind of super sensitive. But we'll shoot the target at the bottom, fire, reload. And this is without aiming. Fire 2 more, reload. Fire 2 more, and reload. And that target has already respawned. You must destroy all of the targets at the same time. You can use your ability, your right bumper ability, to slow down time. However, keep in mind that that also slows down your actions, and then there's a cooldown on it. You'll only be able to use your ability once in the amount of time that the targets can respawn in. So keep in mind, functions like reloading the weapon actually take longer with that ability active than reloading the weapon without the ability active. It slows down time, but the ability also slows down you. So there's an old adage used in some prepper communities and also used in the military a lot and in actual sniping. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. And that is what you need to keep in mind, because there is no bullet penetration, so you cannot shoot 2 targets at once, despite the fact that if you stand at the perfect angle, you'll notice that those 2 targets do cross paths with each other, but there is no bullet pen in this game, so even if you hit the shot perfectly, you will not hit 2 targets with 1 bullet. There's also no way to get a faster cycling sniper rifle, and there is no way to increase magazine capacity. There's also a invisible force field here, so there's no way to get any closer to the targets. You must remain within the confines of this area. There is also a reset station right here. So I'm going to go ahead and share with you the game clip that I was finally able to get after about an hour of actually attempting to do this.
I've got plenty more.
Another thing with this game clip, you'll see me fail a couple of times. You want to try to use the recoil of the weapon to your advantage, and that's going to be the easiest since the weapon recoils up and slightly right. You're going to want to start with the lowest target on the left and work your way up. With the reload in the middle, and then hitting that target moving on the diagonal, hitting the target moving on the vertical, and ambushing the target that is coming up from the right. It will take you a few tries. Like I said, it took me over an hour, and that's being familiar with shooters and being familiar with the techniques used. Now, normally this would also be called, in the world of sniping, this would be called ambushing the target, because we are actually waiting for the target to pass through either a specific point or get to the point where it will be going to a specific point to account for travel time of the actual projectile. Considering in this game there is no travel time for the projectile and there is no bullet drop, there's no windage or anything like that to compensate for, it's just a matter of timing your shots perfectly.
Suavemente. Weapon is hot.
And then when you do successfully get it, like I just did, the shield comes down and you can pick up your collectible. Go ahead and celebrate because you have just completed the hardest of the operative challenge rooms. Now, like I said, maybe on PC it's a lot easier to do with mouse and keyboard. Maybe there's another technique out there that I've missed, or maybe you're just damn good and win every single arcade game you play. If that's the case, hats off to you. But for the rest of us, the Striker room is probably the hardest room. I will then go into the Vendetta room, which is the room I showed at the beginning of the video, and just show you the game clip that I recorded actually picking up all of the robot kills. Alright, so this is the time when I actually tried to do it, and as you can see, because you can't control your movement perfectly when it comes to the jump pads, and you have to go ahead and actually start holding the jump pad down before you can
Farewell.
hit the jump pad. This is definitely an annoying one to do, but if you use the instructions that I explained, you shouldn't have too much of an issue. As you can see, it does take more than a try or two to get the positioning and timing of the entire thing correct. So I wasn't sure if the game clip was going to record long enough to record everything,
Bye-bye.
which is why I started the video grabbing the whole collectible from this room.
Reunit.
I did pretty good placing that, but I placed it a little bit to the right. It's kind of like the best way to describe moving in the air after using one of these jump pads is pretty much like sprinting on ice. So yeah, it's definitely not the easiest thing to do. But once you get it, you can double check by standing on the pressure plate to make sure that the drone will shoot through the opening. And then just kind of check the arc of the jump pad like I was showing you at the start of the video. And hope your timing is perfect. Which in this case, my timing was absolutely perfect there. So I was able to place the drone, my last drone, right in the middle of the opening for the door. Stand on the pressure plate, and then your drone will kill that last training dummy, at which point the shield is lowered around the collectible, and that's where we started off recording the video, so you can go ahead and pick up that collectible. That is all of the rooms for the training operatives. Despite the fact that there's 7 operatives, for some reason they decided to only put 4 5, 6 rooms. Basically, there's no room for captain or capitan, however you want to pronounce it, despite the fact that the moment that you enter this whole area, it automatically changes your class to capitan. So maybe they're planning on adding a room later.
Open 24 hours.
I honestly have no idea. Yeah. It's really, really weird. Unless they want you to do something in this room, which I'm not sure if they do. But as far as the achievement is concerned, you only have to do the 6 rooms in here. I know the video was broken up a little bit, but hopefully this answered any questions that you might have. If you do still have any questions, of course, feel free to go ahead and leave a comment. I will do my absolute best to help you guys out. And if you enjoyed the video, please help me out by smashing that like button, sharing the video on social media, because YouTube's algorithm is really, really weird. And if you have the time, drop a comment. Otherwise, my brothers and sisters, I Legion, subscribe for more content, and most importantly, stay frosty.